All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, I'm going to be talking about Paul Rodgers, and we're going to finally get an answer to a question that I think needed to be answered. We need to thank Eddie Trunk, the Trunkster, for asking Paul Rodgers that question. Before we get there, if you're a fan of Bad Company, you should check out Lone Rider. This is their album Sundown. It's very derivative of Bad Company. Some people will think, hey, it's plagiarism. I like it. You've got Simon Kirke playing drums and the great Steve Overland singing and doing his best Paul Rodgers imitation. Of course, it's difficult to copy Paul Rodgers, but Steve Overland, a legend, and he just loves that style of music. That's what he told me. I had an interview with him, and he was great. And so I'm hoping for another Lone Rider album at some point. You do have Midnight Rose, which is out there. That's the latest album by Paul Rodgers, and he's sounding really great these days. But the headline here is why, or the question rather, why isn't Paul Rodgers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And here's his answer. Years and years ago, Ahmet Ertegun, who was the head of Atlantic Records, and by the way, a good guy and was into great music. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as an institution has changed dramatically since Ertegun was the co-founder and more or less in charge of who got to go in the Hall of Fame. And right off the bat, he asked Paul Rodgers, he says, hey, we're making this museum of rock and roll. Now, I don't know if he should have presented it to him that way, that it's a museum, but it kind of is a museum. Do you guys want to be part of it? You guys, hopefully that means Bad Company, right? And he said, what? This is Paul Rodgers. A museum of rock and roll? What's it called? And Ertegun says, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Rodgers responded, I don't think rock and roll belongs in a museum. So he essentially turned down Ertegun's offer. The singer claims he was asked again a couple of times but refused. Paul Rodgers went on to say, it doesn't affect my daily life. It doesn't affect what I do in any way at all. And so he doesn't want to be in the museum. So that explains it. That's the whole video right there. So again, you can go listen to Midnight Rose. That's his first solo album in nearly 25 years. Paul Rodgers has been plagued by health issues over the past decade, but apparently is doing much better after he had a surgery to unclog one of his arteries. Even though Rodgers is reportedly feeling good these days, he admitted to Eddie Trunk that he has no plans to tour, which is kind of sad. So anyway, folks, that's it. That's the story as to why Bad Company is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They just didn't want to be in. Now, what's weird, though, is they had that opportunity when Ertegun was in charge. I can almost guarantee you that the current Rock and Roll Hall of Fame committee probably would never nominate Bad Company. Maybe he'll go in there posthumously, because that would be the only way, I think, for Paul Rodgers to agree to it. The fact that he wouldn't be here to disagree with it. Lone Rider, Sundown. This is fantastic. Go check it out if you're a fan of Bad Company. Also, definitely check out Midnight Rose. From what I've heard, it's excellent. It should be on classic rock stations. It's not. They promote it. They talk about it. They don't play it. That makes so much sense, right? Anyway, folks, thanks for watching the channel. Please subscribe. Don't forget Patreon and also YouTube memberships. The revenue apocalypse is back, and as always, I need your help to continue to keep this going, and I appreciate those who've been doing this literally for years now. I've got patrons who've been part of this for a very long time, and I appreciate all of you, plus the YouTube members that I don't see and talk to. You guys are great. Thank you so much, and I will see you all soon.